Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide, as outlined on the consenting website of divine-gpms.world. It is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on December 28th, 2025, and we have in the meeting Guardian and representative GPMS all over the world. Some of them, they have the camera closed. This is the reason then they cannot be seen on the meeting, but they are present. We are 12 here, or 11, because Rick is in 2 different places. And we have also with us Rick Jewers. He is the founder of GPMS, and he is High Priest of Melchizedek Order with us on earth in these divine times. Rick, there is a huge reason that I'm asking all the time to start with the news for Ascension, because there is no freedom without Ascension, and I will explain later. So please let us know about what it is new in Ascension. This is the most important. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, sister, you went quick to that. Take candy out of my mouth. What is new in the Ascension? That is a great question. I've been busy most of the week. Uh, however, there was an unprecedented compression, energetic compression, that was felt worldwide on December 24th, if you will, and 23rd as well. But this has been prevalent, the increasing pressure and compression worldwide. And from the ascension perspective, this is also necessary because what you have is every human soul on earth generates an energy from them. And what was occurring, this was a dense, compressed energy because the human souls were generating out despair, uh, discomfort, confusion with everything happening worldwide. So, a mixed bag of negative emotions at this time. And you need to realize many are becoming destitute and desperate in ways not to harm others, but in survival tactics, if you will. And these are fear energetic emissions that come from these ones, when all of their resources have been exhausted. They don't see any options. Um, and with, the worldwide inflation as one factor, what it is doing to the people, it is pressuring them to make the choice. So this is part of the ascension, and it's divinely designed to do so again, because the way society is worldwide with the current worldwide system, it cannot exist as it is. And we are in the ascending times where the heaven on earth system, divine GPMS, is brought in to earth as a full-fledged reality. So having said this, we still have so many in flux, if you will, and they are disoriented. They do not know of the options. So even though Divine GPMS has been the ascension instrument for, let's say, almost 5 years now, I believe, even though it's been there and in the public eye, there are so many players that are souls as well, that they are still going through parts of their inner work. And one of the big things is the ego, the lower self-protecting ego. And what this does, especially when you've got promoters and influencers that are on pedestals to, let's say, have a lucrative existence in this mundane capitalistic world that exploits humanity. So they are more or less at that level where their soul is still bought by the capitalistic system, the beast system. And many of them don't know it, yet. However, having said this, when you get prominent speakers and influencers that are still supporting the whole paradigm, the old paradigm, it makes it difficult to show their followers the real exit, if you will, from this matrix, because there is that form of herd mentality and what they are feeding to their influencers. And in a perfect ascension world, it would have been idea if all of these influencers, spiritual teachers, healers, all of these worldwide, if they would have given divine GPMS to all of their followers, we would have been already in that new world. Now, as we know, we can say these things and we don't wish to look at what should have been, what could have been. We evaluate everything in the now moment and we identify the obstacles. And what I need to say is the main obstacles are the people themselves and the ones that they are following, the influencers. And I say that is the most problematic because in any moment, divine GTMS is a logical, most rational, and lawful choice in its simplicity in what it does. Nevertheless, you have this conscious energetic threads that are playing out at different levels. So it kind of suppresses and prolongs the ascension. And having said that, the approach of Comet Atlas for uh, on the 19th, however, what I wish to say, I believe it's getting closer to Earth, not further away. But what I will say with some of my communication mechanisms at transmitting and receiving, I have not had, since I've been incarnated on Earth, such strong signals as what I had on December 19th. That has diminished since then, but there was the climax with that time. And again, December the 19th was so significant because it did do things that are not fully realized or seen yet. Yeah, we forgot to record, but nevertheless, with this, we continue forward, and this is it's inevitable again, but it's how many will make it. Because the longer that people hold out and don't make the choices, the longer it prolongs it for everyone, if you will. So the ascension date and time, as I've always said, it's not ascertained specific to a date. There are the outlooks and the projections, like the one that the last one Father gave I, but the second last one was November 15th, Black Friday, last year, 2024. It was very possible that if certain events would have occurred, that GPMS could have been, let's say, being close to being implemented back then. That did not occur, obviously. So our next projective, most likely date, what Father had said, is December 31st this year. Now, being realistic with what we can see, with not including miracles or the power of Father, Prime Creator, God, and Mother, Prime Creator, if we are realistic and just entertain what we have here right now, it doesn't look like December the 31st that we can do it. But what I will say, what is still very possible, if Divine-gpms.world is to go viral, we can go, let's say, millions and even billions in a few days. So with my full knowing and trust in God, I still keep that possibility open. And also, having said this, whenever Divine-gpms.world goes viral, and that's whenever, it's not an if, because if is not part of the equation. Divine-gpms.world is the ascension vehicle that is ascertained. And I, as well as all of you, if you did not know this beyond more than a reason of a doubt, you would not be here, and I would not be here if I was just a humanoid awakened Rick, if you will, or a human awakened Rick. I would not be doing this. But the truth is of the matter, I am who I say I am. I'm obeying the orders of Father God, and we're to continue taking this forward no matter what, because this is the heaven on earth. This is what advances humanity out of this savage existence today and into the new world, the new world that is here. It's being created right here on earth, all suffering eradicated, all these beautiful things. So with the ascension symptoms, um, signs, constant signs, accrediting and validating the prophecies, scriptures, from the Bible, but also prophecies, every day. You can see everything that's been prophesied 1,500, 2,000 years ago, even 6,000 years ago, if you will. These things are all culminating. They are factual things. They are coming true, and they cannot be refuted. And if we're to look at it from a biblical perspective, or even, let's say, a Hopi prophecy perspective, to include that in as well, most of the signs are already here. What they had prophesied long ago, humanity has already experienced and seen a lot of these. Now, not, of course, not all of humanity, but big numbers have. And what we're seeing more notably, I am, in the last month is a Christ revival. And the reason why this is occurring is because more and more every day are seeing the signs, and they're becoming more undeniable, irrefutable, that, in these unprecedented times. And again, let's take California and Washington state on the west coast of the US. Just what has transpired there in the last week, the unprecedented flooding. So we see it continue worldwide. And it's not easing. It's actually becoming more widespread. And these are very important signs that people see. Also in Morocco, I believe 37, 39 ones lost their lives, vehicles floating down the streets. In the Canary Islands, water events. So they're ongoing and they're increasing, but they're unprecedented. So people are taking notice. And, if they were atheists or not atheist, if they were agnostic, which is in between in the past, that they didn't believe if there was a God or not. They were unsure if it was. What you see is these agnostic ones now are tending to be more of a believer because again, the signs are becoming more distinct in alignment with this. So I rambled on quite a bit. I'll stop there and someone else please speak or what have you. Thank
Thank you so much, Eric. You cover a lot of subject because it is exactly what I experienced this week. I experienced also some messages from Adrian on Facebook, and I said, okay, thank you so much, Adrian, because you blocked me on TikTok, but you forgot to block me on Facebook. And he said, I never block you. So we know that he was in jail time and he's followed by all government agency in Romania. So somebody from there blocked me on TikTok at the time that the conversation ended. And he's still keeping the same Putin solution and command with generals and everything. Right now, looking a little bit on the generals in the United States and also in Romania, in Canada, and also in Canada. In Canada, I saw a general that it's saying that Canada, it is prepared for war. And I posted over the internet, we can let them to fight themselves. We unite with GPMS because if we are looking to the pyramid system, all the time those on top, they fight alone among them. Then after that, basically the people, the 90% of the population, it's involved in war. But in reality, we fight nobody. We do not want war, but they invoke something, then the war may start because they are part of the darkness. This is the reason. And also when I put a photo with Trump, so basically when I started to speak more about things that happen on the actual system that are coming from the darkness. And the people on the fourth dimension, probably some of them on the fifth dimension, but most probably on the fourth dimension, they started to comment. When I post all the time your post and GPMS post in general, nobody comments. This was also part of my discussion with Frank, his representative GPMS from British Columbia. And Frank said, I saw that. If I post comments from GPMS, nobody answer, but nobody comment also negative, or they may be a little bit trapped to comment negative, but after that, yes, they turn on positive. But everybody let GPMS there. It's like if you see something, but the reaction is not so strong. When we put things from the actual post from the actual system, then the debate start. Then the people have a reaction. So the people are still fighting inside of the system. And when I open a discussion with a freedom fighter, she's leader in Alberta of part of the movement involved with all the protest Canada and everything. And she told me when she speaks, the people listen. And I said, how many people are listening? Because this is extremely important, because the people are still on the fourth dimension. Some, they are going toward the fifth dimension, but the majority is still there. So, and she said, but they listen to me. So it's like, pay attention what you are speaking, Beatrice, because, and I'm speaking all the time GPMS, because this is the reason the people do not listen, because the people listen her. And I said, if the people listen you, then I want to see your video. When I saw the video, are part of the system. So it's nothing there. It's not true solution. So this is the problem, exactly the problem as Rick described. The leaders from the freedom movement, um, they have their ego, and the ascension is not there. They do not pay attention to the inner work for the ascension time and more meditation and more listening. What it is the true solution, even that I presented her for hours, the true solution face to face. So they are not able to move forward. They want follows. And when they enter, for example, in a business like just to drink a coffee or something, like they are speaking loud. So we see there the huge ego when they start to speak loud, that the business is not keeping the food necessary for the people because it's not clean up, and she has another co-worker that the other one is trying to make the good for humanity, the food more clean up and everything. So this speaking louder about the problems, reject the solution. This is basically part of the four dimensions still. It's not about any kind of ascension. This is the reason that I start all the time, what it is new, Rick, about the ascension, because there is no freedom without ascension. And we have the leaders keeping the same story, and we come weekly keeping our side of GPMS and presenting GPMS. We are speaking all the time the same thing, exactly as you are saying, but at the same time, we hope that new people can see new video because they are not looking on the old ones. Yes, Rick.
Thank you. Yeah, so what I'm observing neutrally, and is that also, let's say some of the teachings, especially with Christ consciousness. So I had to put out some clarity on this, that things are distorted and manipulated, and this is done intentionally. Like one of the things what I've observed this week is that ones think Christ consciousness is being in their own group and manifesting abundance and thrive. And this is not what Christ consciousness is. That is the opposite. Christ consciousness is compassion and caring and community. Anything that takes one into the selfishness and to think that it's about manifesting, this is the false teachings, what is out there, part of it. It's not about that. This ascension is about selfless service, service to all and joining together. That is what Christ did. That is Christ-like. That is Christ consciousness. Christ did not tell ones to be selfish and go and create all of the miracles for yourself in an isolated area, as an example. So that's nonsense. But it is the superficial teachings and shallowness that also ones see the humanity wishes to adapt to whatever's easy, to whatever's comfortable as well. But again, in this great time, they're finding their comfort being compressed and they're being restricted more and more because it's divinely occurring, which means eventually they don't have any choice. So there is, a lot of the deliberate, intentional, distorted, and manipulative teachings that are out there as well. Anything that causes separation is not of the light, it's not of Christ. And I repeat this over and over. Separation tactics are tactics of the darkness theirself. Um, I'll just say here shortly, the current state of affairs, if you will, where we're at with Austria. I'm about to release another very important, blatant, straightforward, incontestable evidence of, I like to say, a mass discrimination from what is supposed to be a democratic country, Austria, from its judicial system and other actors and participants. What we have right at this time, which I consider is huge, it's disgusting, it's sickening, it's disgraceful. But what we have is actually four judges that have endorsed discriminatory statements against Sister Nya. And it's absolutely preposterous. These are hate crimes. These are very serious crimes against humanity. And what you have are what you would anticipate and expect judges to uphold the law and to be the examples and peers for their society. Here you have the opposite. You have at least four judges and other many more that are connected, about 40, in places of authority or in places of bureaucracy and administration that are perpetrating these bias, hate crimes, and discrimination out there. And just to keep it short, they target the mother's beliefs, is the main thing. So they attempt to twist and distort a mother, let's say, that is spiritual and just believes in God and the angels and all of these beautiful things. What they'll do is they'll say, no, they are delusional, that they are psychotic, and that they're unable to look after their children. So, with their esoteric beliefs in Austria, that is being directly attacked. But rightfully so, because when we go and we look at one thing in the Bible, what Jesus said, and just to keep it simply, Jesus said, in those end times, they will hate me. They will hate what I stand for, which is God and doing everything good. And you will blatantly see it. So, this is just one example of that, the deep hatred, what is there within Austria that we're exposing. So, this is very good. It's very significant. And actually, we're very happy, um, despite Nya's children are not back yet, but we're at such a point that at any moment they have to be. These crimes that we have shown the world, what Austria has done, they're not only the four judges that we're speaking about, we have given this information right up to the very top of the Republic of Austria, these crimes that were being committed. No one has stepped in. These judges, and I just checked today, and these ones responsible are still working in the public sector. Even though all of the criminal levels of Austria, right up to the top courts, everyone's been informed with this explicit, incontestable evidence, but nothing has been done. So this is very revealing without going into a lot of detail, but why it's important with the Ascension and Divine-gpms.world, it is truly a collapse of Austria and its system. And let's say the only alternative choice, again, is Divine-gpms.world to maintain any type of order. But it's not only Austria. As we know, the civil unrest is prevalent worldwide, France, Canada, um, let's say the persecution of Christians in Nigeria, all of these crazy things are happening. And the common sense, grounded, good soul, we're just looking at that with absolute disgust. It's absolutely savage and ridiculous. But again, this has been prophesied about this time where each one has to judge themselves, make the right choices, do everything that is right. Because if you don't, and this is not to threaten anyone, but if you don't do what's right, this is part of your judgment, and circumstance will occur that you begin attracting more and more negative things to you. So common sense would tell one, yeah, you should be good at least. But again, there is the experience with it for them to quickly make those choices. But what I say is everything is speeding up so quick. And this is also why you're seeing ones go from riches to rags very quickly, everything taken away from them in the blink of an eye, because all of these judgments are speeding up in all of the choices as well. And this is also indicative that, again, we are not too far away from the heaven on earth, because the only choice that every good soul has is divine GPMS and being a part of it. There are no other choices other than go down with the imploding system, which with humanity, with their survival instincts, they won't do that. So they'll see what the exit is, and that is Divine-gpms.world. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Rick. This is true, exactly as you wrote on the Facebook. The people pass the Christmas time, what it is still called as Christmas on December 25, some of them alone, some of them even that they come together, they are crying because of everything that happens with their family, with themselves, etc. They are not able to liberate from all the problem that the system creates. And basically they are keeping the anxiety and all the depression and everything up. And in this situation, they are not able to see GPMS in order to participate and to end the poverty. Right now, because you wrote, and I know this since 2017, this is the solution. We are eagle. And the main problem, the poverty was never ended because the people were never considered equal. When I posted over the internet and I tested a little bit to see how the people that they follow my Facebook page answer, I posted somebody asking money, like 1 billion, uh, asking herself why Musk is not giving us 1 billion of dollar because he has 221 billion. This is what it was told in that photo. Then the people started to react like, go to work, then you'll have your money, or this is welfare, don't stay here and ask. So the people are not able to see we are equal as remuneration and having access in equal part to the resources. The people believe that if you have companies, then you can be rewarded more. Right now, when we see, when we know that there are a lot of family having a lot of children and everything, and There are two parents if they have 4 children, or if they have no child or only one. So the parents that have so many children, sometimes they have no even time to work, and they have no probably even time to make so many courses, so many specialization in order to go to work in a high position, considered it high position in the pyramid system. And basically they are not able to come at home and to pay what it is necessary for their children. At the same time, the society, how it is constructed on the pyramid system, they want for some that they have time to make courses and specialization and university and play a role in the society as it is considered. Then basically they come with phantomic salary, very big salary, then they can pay the expensive life that is basically the fake life. And they uphold the system and making courses because they believe that they have something to present to the people in order for others to learn how the system is working. So what can you tell us about that? Because the people are still not able to see that we have to be paid equal because we are equal. And some of them, they believe that they pay more attention to the society than others, that they need to be paid differently. Thank you so much.
Sister Beatrice, first, I like to reference a meme or a post that was going around with a girl holding the sign saying that Elon Musk could give everyone $1 billion. The attention span with humanity is very limited. If they just take a moment and do the math on that post, it's absolutely ridiculous. Elon Musk has about 500 billion, or has a worth of about $500 billion. He's only able to give $1 billion to 500. This is the correct math. And I've saw this before, but ones will see this post and they'll just keep sharing this falsity without even looking into it. But this is also it is also an example with so many posts with the attention span of what ones are actually proliferating out there on the internet. All of these falsities, and what they're doing is actually energizing the falsity of things. And they are participating in spreading these lies and false things. So I wish to say that here again because I've seen it come up again. People, do your math and take your time to read posts, to digest things. Don't speed read and go over them. It does nothing. That's where the superficial Christ consciousness happens, because people don't look at the important, intricate details that are there. They look at a post, and just because it feels good to them, they'll share it without reading the content. And what I need to say, there's a lot of trickery that is put out there like this. So instead of being legitimate, valid, true Christ consciousness ones, you're actually energizing the falsity when you don't read the things and understand them and take the time to understand these important instructions and tools. Getting to, if I understand you correctly, where everyone is equal in their value, and where corporations and that insanity of the capitalistic structure is imploding, what I need to say, especially in the United States, they're getting more of the first-hand reality of what this is. Rents skyrocketing beyond what ones are making. One's scrambling, getting two jobs, working double hours, trying to survive, and yet rents and the cost of living going higher and higher, which has many um, downsizing, getting campers and going and living out in the forest, if you will, in attempts to survive. But what's occurring is that this is happening to great numbers, and not everyone is going to be able to do that. So you're seeing a huge meltdown in the US, but also with the US, it's forcing ones to work more and more, and it's revealing more of the enslavement, if you will, by the big corporations, the very wealthy, how they are in their comfortable homes while, um, let's say, for every one that may be comfortable, you perhaps got thousands that are in a very extreme poverty or poverty situation. So when you look at it, this huge disparity and inequality, the rich ones are rich at the expense of all the poor. So this is very serious, which everyone is beginning to see how it doesn't make sense at all. And it's because of the capitalistic system. Again, so, we preach and we preach the common sense and the logic of it, which we do. But beautifully, what is happening is so many more are being subjugated to the poverty. When they're subjugated to it, they are awakening, seeing how everything is the lie, how it's the illusion, and how it is the enslavement of their time, of their energy, but also the pillage of their unlimited value. So again, it serves many very good purposes. What is occurring, uh, and unfortunately, it's taking time for them to see that divine GPMS is the only solution. But again, as I said, in the blink of an eye, the straw that breaks the camel's back is falling. It's mid-air, and at any moment, everything of the old is imploding. And the beauty of it is we already have the full new world and the solution here that in the blink of an eye, a billion can choose this. And having said this, I was so happy to see from the Philippines, Sister Lodi had sent in one day, we had 9,000 consents, I believe, approximately, that was added there in one day. And yes, most of the consents are coming from the Philippines, but also I need to say it's been written as well. When you look in to what has been written in scripture, prophecies, in the Bible, you'll see it substantiated that from the east, the light and the support would come. And it's coming from the Philippines, which is beautiful. And this is being also a worldwide um, inspiration, because also not only are these huge consent coming from the Philippines, it's all of the expat Philippines that are spread out as well all over the world. So it's a very great, beautiful network of light that is being activated. And with that one closing little thing, is that we recently asked for some funding because on our GPMS website, the translation, as we discussed last week, it was terrible in some things. And it was funny with the German language because however it got in there, it had on the top when we put where we have intelligence unfolding, which means the Christ consciousness and intelligence raising up. When that read in German, it read something like the Secret Service intelligence. And but it was absolutely ridiculous. We don't know how it got in there, but again, what we are doing is working on a better translator. So we had to ask publicly for a little bit of money for the translator for a plug-in, and also to update the yearly hosting for Divine GPMS. So it was very minimal. We did have only 3 that did donate, and we're very grateful for the 3 that did. And I think all 3 of those are on this meeting here today. And so we're very grateful. And what I say is, I believe it's enough because we only need it, a little bit. And we don't ask the public for money unless we just need it for little things like this. And again, I wish to make it clear. I think the last time that we asked the public for any money might have been about 3 years ago, perhaps, because ones will step up when we need it a little bit to pay for things on their own, and we don't go and ask the public. And this is important for all to know. It doesn't cost anyone any money at all with this to join GPMS. So thank you for that. I'll stop there.
I would like to say thank you so much to everyone that share Divine-gpms.world as website, and it's speaking about GPMS, about the true solution. Because of everything that I saw again by posting the intrinsic value and also posting about the money, everything that I discovered was basically the people do not pay attention to our meetings and to the website and everything because it is not enough share. So, and in general, they are still on the 4 dimensions. So we need more speakers about GPMS. We need more people involved as a representative, and guardians too. And thank you so much, Dave, because also you are speaking about the solution with your video, small video that you publish and everything, spending a lot of time making them because I know how hard it is to make the video and everything. It's and to post on social media and to create social media. And also we have people working on TikTok as Maxine, and also I saw Denovan, and probably also others, and Serhi that is going to the protest and speaking with the people on the street. And also we have right now Jonathan started to come on our meetings, and also Lodi. Beautiful Lodi that all the time it's coming with consents from the Philippine and groups and leaders, and it is a lot about also in the direction of the community. A new community may be formed. Agnes that share in Germany, Everson in Brazil, and also we have Aziz that it's all the time present for India and many others. So thank you so much to everyone that shared the true solution, because I know for years how hard it is to share the true solution, and we need more people involved and the people may start to see GPMS. So the people discover GPMS through the small interaction. I'm not saying debate, conversation, and everything. Minimum, they have one conversation, a little bit about a small subject, then they may see then another idea. It is presented not only a part of the actual system with pyramid and everything that is kept by the politician. Looking on the profile for the people that they answer to the billion of billionaire of Musk and everything, I saw that they are keeping a solution politics and also constitution. They are speaking about constitution and they believe about themselves. They are patriots. So this is the reason because they are not part of GPMS because they want to be on the freedom movement, but at the same time, it is only one GPMS presenting the true solution and all other groups and everyone around presenting the pyramid system in a way or another way. So all of other from the actual system, they present only problems, not the true solution, or if they present a solution, this is more or less part of the actual system. So they uphold the actual system and also the artificial law. So this is the problem. So we need more people involved to speak about GPMS and to be in contact with us. Then we answer to their question and they become representative for GPMS. And social media, it's very important. At the same time, boots on the ground are very important because it's not about everyone that has access to the internet, as exactly as is happening also in Philippines. So probably a big part, like 0.5% of the world, has no access to the internet or has only access to some internet, paid data, or many others are not able to find the solution as GPMS because there is a lot of information over the internet and they do not cross the solution. So it is extremely important to have everything that it is possible as social media develop speakers and at the same time boots on the ground, and exactly as Serhi is doing, going to the protest, even though the protest it is about against immigration, where the immigration does not exist on earth, to have no borders, but at the same time it's good to go there even that you know the truth, just to share the solution with the people. Then more people may start to find the true solution. So we see right now how the leaders from the freedom movement are working, keeping protest, and the protest in Canada will start on January 3rd, January 10. So we'll have protests all the time. So the people protest anyway. So they are working for this protest and they prefer to stay also during the winter time and spending their money, and it's about sometimes minus 30 degrees, but it does not matter for them. They are there basically taking action against the government. So upholding at the same time the pyramid system, but they are not even able to understand that. So this is why it is extremely important for everyone to share the solution divine-gpms.world. So my experience in the last day was enough to have the input necessary. I posted in 1 day or 2 days a lot of information coming from the actual system. Then I found the reaction and I saw myself that we have not yet enough representative GPMS posting about the solution, then the people are not enough involved on keeping the conversation about the true freedom. Yes, Jonathan.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to just touch base. I'm just going to sit down so I don't make anybody nauseous. So one of the things I've come to understand, so with compassion, I say this and also to admit frustration. It's very difficult for people that can't see a different system because of generations of indoctrination. So when we talked earlier about Elon Musk and his money, yes, the math, which is an indictable of our education system. So the truth when it comes to great wealth like that is it doesn't come from honesty, because anybody who's owned a business before knows that unless you cheat and get away with it, that's the only way you really make money. And that's kind of really where that control structure lies. And that in hoarding, right? So what causes people is panic when we talk about GPM and a different system, because we're basically telling people that you've built your whole life in falsity and nothing you really did matters. I know it's bleeding, it's not that simple, but for a lot of the who aren't initiated, it comes off very intimidating, and it's very much similar to when you have a infant sleeping and you just wake them up. They wake up crying because their sensory perceptions are overstimulated, and they're acclimating to the physical world that they were birthed into. What I see when we have great movement is usually when something very negatively occurs. And I just want to bring that up to people's attention, because I find sometimes when I get discouraged, I need to sometimes remind myself that not everybody is where we are or I am. I just like to talk about anybody else's position. And with a humble sense is to understand, that it's not always their fault they're stupid. It's just the way the system has hijacked every sensory perception in the physical realm that we have. And without understanding the sense of this reality is all but fake, the truth is really spirituality, right? It's the spirit, it's the soul, that's the eternal. It's very hard for people to have that realization. And I think that's where the pushback comes in, especially with the Freedom Convoy, is their Freedom Convoy, not that they represent something I want to say that is bad. I was a big part of that movement back in 2000. But what I found is it wants to go back to the old ways, the ways before the pandemic, which aren't sustainable. No modern way that we found works. And it's a lot of psychological warfare out there that it's very hard to cut through. So I find that when people experience the most pain is unfortunately when people change. So I like I said earlier to anybody who hasn't heard me say this, I do a lot of research on a lot of things that interest me and some things that don't, and I go down rabbit holes all the time. But it's very cunning, the systems of control that are imposed on us. If you can imagine, it's almost perfect. We basically live in a giant prison that we imprison ourselves, and we police ourselves, and we keep ourselves there. So I do my very best to promote this GPMS. When fundraising comes, I do, I haven't been around long enough, but, I was happy to being able to contribute. I also understand that greed is a virus, and it's not like any other virus. It's not sustainable, and at some point it will self-cannibalize itself. So I know to my heart that it's not when, or not if, but when. the world will wake up. I just sometimes feel impatient because I'm at a place where I see things differently, which I'm sure most of us here, if not all of us, do. But it's the understanding that not everybody is able to and may not be, able to wake up. So it's just what I found myself doing is I just try to send everybody the same amount of love as I would somebody that I care about. Just those that are on a different level or choose to be somewhere else that is not self-serving, I keep that at a distance. But I just found that it's very important to understand the why and the how, because in order to fix something truly, it's to understand where it broke and how it broke. So with love, I just wanted to bring that out and maybe add a little something in a different energy than that was already said. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jonathan. It is true. The convoy, we cannot say it was bad or good, or it was good on the way that gathered the people, and then the people are able to see, more people are able to see that something happens inside of the system and all the protests and everything on this direction. At the same time, the leaders do not present the solution, then basically the people are coming after the convoy at home and nothing happens, or very few things happens, but many other problems start again and again, and the problem multiply because the solution was not there. This was the reason. So the gathering, it's good. The gathering give also an information that the people started to see the system is not working correctly, something happens. At the same time, the solution is not there. Then we are still here in the meeting, and we are speaking about the solution in order to happen. So at the same time, coming a little bit back to the equality on the so-called salary, what the people are understanding as salary or remuneration or something like, I would like to remember to all people, GPMS dollar is very different from the United States dollar or Canadian dollar or whatever could be the currency at this time on the artificial law. GPMS dollar, it is based on our intrinsic value. It is has the highest value on the world, never seen until now. And when we are speaking about the money is unlimited, and will back all the project for humanity and all the project for the planet. So there is no reason to need more, because there will be much, much, much more than needed. So every single us will be like a king or a queen. So we will not need more money. Will be absolutely enough. So for those that they are in fear and they believe that the salary will be like today, then oh my God, then I'll be penalized and I'll have a less salary or something like, and they are working inside of the actual system for the salary in order to be able to pay a better housing or something like a little bit more in quality, because there is a lot of scarcity inside of the system. It's just for all others to remember universal laws eliminate poverty, and there is only one quality, the highest standard. So then you do not need to care inside of the system about the quality, because you'll consume the highest one. So there it's not a problem of having more money or paying about quality or something like this. Is part of the actual system and has nothing to do with GPMS system. GPMS system needs to be understood how it is, then the fear will be released, then everybody will accept equal payment. So this will be not a problem anymore. So yes, the obstacle, exactly as Rick said, are the people, because they need to spend a little bit more time and to read our website, divine-gpms.world. Then they will see the benefits, they will start to compare, and if they have question, to address us the question, then we answer, and to start to participate on our weekly meetings. When I presented the weekly meetings, some people ask, but why we have weekly meetings? Because we need to present the solution. Because everything that they have on their Facebook as presentation about politics, constitution, this is not the solution. And they need to start to see why. This is the reason that we repeat all the time messages, part of the messages. Rick is saying, but everything was told. Yes, it's true, but not everyone here. So then we are keeping weekly meetings. Then we share the solution all the time for more people to come. Yes, so my messages a little bit are on this direction. This is what I found over the internet. It is exactly what Rick described also about the ascension and about the time with the negativity and everything. This is exactly what I experienced, and I saw also when I post on the social media through the answer and through the comments. Then it is exactly what the ascension it is in these divine times. Yes, Dave.
I just want to add a little chunk based on what you previously said. You mentioned I had been putting out videos. We've actually ran a truth center since March of 2020. So this is how it is that I'm continuing to put out information. But what I wish to add is you mentioned that it's difficult to, arrange and edit and put out these videos. It actually isn't that bad. And for anybody, obviously people on this meeting probably already know how to do it, but anybody on this meeting or anybody watching this video or on the live stream, everybody is important and everybody has a gem to pass on to the world. So if you so feel inclined, not everybody's come out to be video producers, I get that, but if you so feel inclined and wish to put out your precious message to the world from your own perspective, and if you understand the truth that's before you, and if you understand the freedom that GPMS can give, then it's not that hard. Go to something like ChatGPT, ask the question, video editing, video producing, whatever. Personally, I'm on Linux. All our computers on this property, Bill Gates does not run anymore. He runs other people's computers, not ours. And so on Linux, I have my particular series of recording program and then an editing program. So anyway, if you feel inclined, go on chat, let them walk you through to set all that up and put your precious message forward. So that's all I have to say, because disclosure is how this thing ends. And we can further that disclosure by putting our own words to the situation. So that's all I have to say in case somebody feels inclined to make that leap. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. Yes, Rick.
Oh, thank you. What just came to me next week, I believe we'll title our weekly meeting The Benefits of GPMS. And having said this, if it resonates with all of you, perhaps take the time through this week of just taking some notes of some benefits that you would like to speak about perhaps next week, so we can change the directive away from what they are doing. And, you know, instead of saying we're waiting and all of this, let's put a full next meeting on all of the beautiful benefits. So we'll give a presentation of all of these good, simple, easy things, all of the benefits, and substantiate why it's the ultimate solution and for humanity. So I put that up as a proposition, if you will. And if it resonates with all, I'd love to let's take the direction of the next meeting with just focusing on the good things rather than the problems and the hindrances. Let's focus on all of the benefits and solutions. I suggest. Thank you.
Yes, it's true. It is true. We invite all the people also to read what is new versus the actual system. We have the comparison inside of the benefits too. Then from there we start. And personally, I saw more benefits than the website has written. So I will share them anyway. There are a lot of benefits that are even not presented. So when the people are looking on the benefits on the website, they see a huge list. But in reality, the list it's longer, much longer. It is not everything expressed there. So it is more a comparison or a description for the people to understand the direction of GPMS. But GPMS, it's much more complex than that. Regarding the math, even ChatGPT is not able to solve the complex math. It's coming with errors. And if we are asking, for example, oh, ChatGPT, it is your answer correct, then looking back, it's coming and saying, oh, sorry, no, my answer is not correct, then it's giving another answer that will be not correct too. So the complex math is still not there. And the ChatGPT, it's more and more presented as for professional that are recognized inside of the actual system, only some part of the population. So all other part of the population is like they do not need to have access, even that the access is free. And all the legislation is there, then basically the people do not need to pay professional for many things if they start to use GPT, ChatGPT. So part of the benefits of the GPMS, I would like to start even right now, will be the free use of the artificial intelligence, the good one. And regarding the artificial intelligence, because there are a lot of conversation about that the artificial intelligence will replace the people and many jobs will be lost and everything. With GPMS system, this is part of our benefit because the people are not working for the corporation. The people are working for themselves. Then everything that we are able to have good from the artificial intelligence, it is shared among us, and everything is coming for free. And there will be also free devices given to the people as medical devices with the good new technology. Then the people will have access if they feel bad or something like to have a little bit of a remedy at home immediately, but also a new hospital will come with absolutely the good new technology, medicine based on frequency, natural products and everything. And also all the ascension part with meditation and everything will be in place. And the people will have free access through the system. And also all the good artificial intelligence will do not make people to lose jobs or to work harder for something else. No, this will come just in to reduce the hour per week that the people are working, because the people are working for themselves. Then the artificial intelligence is used on the benefit of the people. So I saw a lot of conversation coming, and it is a lot of fear that the people do not have jobs. With GPMS, everybody will have the right to participate to the worldwide community. So it is even not about a job, it is about participation. Then we share everything, resources and everything that it is needed, that every single of us will have everything needed on Earth. And for example, for the farmers that right now they are saying, buy locally and everything. You'll buy anyway locally because the food will be everywhere and will be organic. Then basically you'll buy locally. You do not need to go in Japan in order to buy food. But if you wish, you can. Nobody can stop you. Or if there is something particular in the food that they develop in that corner of the world, yes, you have access. You'll be never stopped. But at the same time, yes, you'll buy local, or basically it's not about buying, because by the end will be even no financial system, will be having the correct food for yourself and having all the technology to travel in minutes from one continent to another one. Then you do not need to change your housing if you want to work in another continent, because you can come back in the same day. So it is a lot about the benefits of GPMS. I would like to start GPMS today, to have GPMS today in place, and do not see the people in poverty and in slavery. And GPMS, it's the only one system that ends poverty and slavery. Yes, the solution was found, and it is presented via divine-gpms.world. This is my message for humanity by what it is considered as the end of the year. If someone wants to add something.
Sister Beatrice, may you check on Facebook to see if there's any questions? I'm unable to. Something occurred with my settings that I'm unable to see the chat now when we are broadcasting live on Facebook. So, is there any questions there? And what I will say is I'm also on TikTok a little bit, having the presence there so I can, purvey some GPMS messages out there. But also I take the time to quickly flip through to get a sense of the common themes, that are out there with humanity. So it's part of anthropology, if you will, and analyzing. But having said that, a short TikTok the other day that I did stop and listen to, it was only a few moments, but it was a feminine in the US that just had a child, and she had the bills there in her hands, and she just said like it was ridiculous. It was over 16,000 US dollars just to have the child born. And I've used this before. So you have $16,000 just to pay to have the child born. But also what occurs when you go with even though it's fictional, the debt of the US, when you split it up, if you will, per capita, what happens in the US today, you have a baby that is born right now that costs over $16,000 US, but also it's over $100,000 that debt that baby is also responsible for on a per capita basis. Now, this is how nonsensical the present system is. So what you have is this poor little baby that is free coming into this world owing about 120,000 US dollars when this child takes its first breath. That is the factual, nonsensical situation of this world and in the US. How ridiculous and preposterous is it? But this is factual, what I am saying. And I need to say this because with GPMS worldwide, having a child is fully free of cost, all of the support. There is no charge to have a child, and also there is no debt. GPMS wipes it all clean. So we can go, let's say, from today, a child that was just born today in the US, if you will, and by having the viral consent, majority consent, we can go, let's say, in a week from now, that child doesn't owe a penny, and that a child born a week from now is born free, not with this illusional debt. So and this is so significant. Not only it's with all healthcare, and when you look at the US for millennia, if you will, I'll say millennia, fighting over a healthcare system, which is so preposterous, nonsensical, and even incompetent by all of the leaders in the US in the past and in this present. And there is no excuse to have a health system that is like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. And what I need to say is that Divine GPMS has the total absolute free health system for all worldwide. But uh, I need to take it just a little bit further. It's not because of incompetency. It's intentionally done because when you look at it, any competent leader would know that GPMS is the solution and that it was there all along. Why would they restrict people and burden them with such huge bills? There are ones in the US in the past, when they became sick, they lost everything because of the huge medical bills. And absolutely preposterous that a health system create so much harm. It's not a health system, it's a harm system. And that is the truth and the reality of it. And it's not acceptable. It's absolutely ridiculous. And any competent leader worldwide would not adopt a ridiculous system when Divine-gpms.world is here to give all of the people the freedom and the abundance and let them live free and healthy. So it's a so, perhaps next week we'll just bring it up shortly about, free health worldwide and everything that anyone needs. All of your holistic remedies and medicines, this is where all of your chemical medicines derived from. They come from the natural sources is where most, or I would say 98% come from. It had started with the natural remedy, then scientists kept fooling around with it and creating synthetic chemicals that copied what it did. But the importance and the problem with the synthetic drugs and chemicals is they were not natural to the human vessel. And that is what culminated and proliferated disease and sickness, because these are foreign synthetic chemicals. They're not natural to the physical vessel. But also, what I need to say with GPMS.world, stress is the #1 factor that causes sickness and disease in the soul. GPMS.world eradicates completely worldwide in the blink of an eye all stress. So again, guess what happens to those that are here that survive? It's instant healing, if you will. And now you also, perhaps any of you that are familiar with some of the Christ teachings, it's been spoken about that in the miraculous time that there would be no sickness, that everyone would be healed. So how true is this, what GPMS does? And really, every healer, every genuine healer worldwide should be endorsing GPMS because it is the basics of medicine. Relieve the stress. You cure all. It's basics. I'll stop there. Thank you.
One of the message from the Facebook was that the true education in Japan happens because the small children on the first grades are not looking for grades. They just share the morality, compassion, care, community, exactly Jesus Christ consciousness. So this is already happening in this part of the world, some school from Japan, and we would like to see this worldwide. And this will be also part of the benefits of the system when we are not looking for competition among the small children or diploma, like degree and everything. We'll be looking first of all to have the true seeds inside of them, then they will remember the compassion, care, community, and everything that it is necessary as morality, that it is the true Jesus consciousness. And what I saw when I was looking on the Facebook, it is about Laura Maria Petrescu. She is Romanian, and she started to speak with us, agree with us during the meeting. Then these are her posts, and there are no other comments. We invite Laura to participate on our weekly meetings. So the link it is there, and everybody it is received. And I never saw her before during the comments on our weekly meetings. So this is for me, this is new, and this is good. So everyone that is coming on the correct direction, it's a part of the true participation for humanity to move forward. If someone wants to add something for today, this is the time. If not, I would say yes.
Yeah, I have one more thing I think wrote down, actually two. And I wish to emphasize once again what we had in our opening introduction and what is said in there. It's imperative to add every accord, including the children. So for anyone that may be watching this, every child's consent counts. And it's very important. It counts the same as every adult's. And again, this is the responsibility of the parents for the young children to have their consent added for this new world. And also, it's important for any child that wishes to do their own consent to add their agreement, please do so. But it's important there is no age limit on who consents. We are creating the new world, and every child and every elder that consents are part of that. And it's important to know it's all inclusive. Also, we don't discriminate between beliefs, if you will, and religion and these sort of things. Each individual's beliefs are their own. However, within each belief and faith, there are the common denominators to take everyone to goodness. And that's what we focus on. Come together with the common goals. What are you going to do for yourself and humanity? Well, the thing to do is Divine-gpms.world. It gives everyone your full freedom and abundance. This is the solution. So, and one other little thing is that from the ascension perspective, it's getting pretty crazy and wild out there, if you will. Also, what I'm seeing. And part of what is going on is the remnants of darkness making things crazy, always trying to lower the vibration, put ones into fear. And you see many false narratives to cause separation as well. However, I do see it somewhat heightened when I take an overview of what the current themes are, energetic themes worldwide. What I see is there's tentacles every which way, and this is why I say it's like crazy, it's chaotic, and a lot of it's done intentional. So it's a kind of also funny to observe that, but very importantly, as a result of Christmas and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, there was that huge compression and then a release. And this had occurred worldwide with so many that the realization sunk in how, all of the family values and core values, how they were not there on a Christmas. So they're saying this is not Christmas. But more importantly, it has awakened so many more to a higher realization that this present world is not right. And I've seen that ones are saying there's something wrong. This world is not right. And that realization is a very indicative point to show the expansion of even more of the consciousness and the awakening. So it was very instrumental, and I was happy to see that. I see Brother Sergey got his hand.
Oh yeah, hi everyone. I just would like to add to this meeting. It's like in recent years, people learn their lessons or still learning about health, about this, and still learning their lessons about separation. An example of like immigration and wars between each other and all the rest, like protests, not uniting and still learning like for separation. And look like soon they're gonna learn their lesson about finance, because look like US printing their money every week more and more. Recently they print like 17 billions last week. This week, the like some professionals saying they're gonna print even 25. Silver price is going, so people gonna lose whatever they have. Money like $1 US gonna cost nothing, and people gonna learn these lessons, and sooner or later they're gonna vote and give their consent for the Divine-gpms.world, because we have a name like a global people monetary system. This is monetary system of our, like we're gonna share between us. We don't need their dollars, their silver, or any other like I don't know stuff to make us happy and rich and abundant. And people gonna learn this very soon because it's all going to the crash. And they have to, they're not gonna have a choice. They have to do it. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, probably by April we can see also finally the real estate crash or white. This may start in the United States. They are saying we are making for us for the United States. No, this will have influence worldwide. And probably there they will understand that they have no assets, value on assets. The true value, it is our intrinsic value. Then we can have all part of all resources on Earth. So they will start to see finally GPMS after this huge experience. And I hope this will happen on April 2026. Yes, Rick.
Oh, I actually have a question for Brother Sergey, but just before that, let's say in the US with quantitative easing and the Fed printing money, it doesn't matter how much money that the Fed prints, if you will, it's not the people's money. It is the Fed's, and it's meant to control the people, as you have seen over, let's say, the last 2 decades with the quantitative easing and the infamous helicopter Ben, with these huge influxes of money into the economy. Where has it got people? When you look at the current situation of the US, it has been actually devastating because it's not the people's money. The Fed issues it, and the elites and all of those control it. So you keep getting the same thing, but it's getting worse and worse because the huge imbalance of the elites, the corporations are taking more and more of this money, raising the prices, and there's less and less money for the people because it's not the people's money. The people's money, which is unlimited, is in Divine-gpms.world. You don't need their money. That is their money. It's not your money. It's not the people's money. So it needs to be understood. With Brother Sergey, I'd like on the Ukraine, I heard a rumor, I believe, if you will, but I think you said something about it last week with the Ukraine that there were perhaps 10,000 or maybe 100,000. I'm uncertain of the numbers, but that they were attempting to recruit 10,000 at least men for to go into the army. But one thing I heard, which it may be just a rumor, that a lot of these men or something were trying to escape to other countries like Romania here or Czechoslovakia. So when I'm asking, can you verify or validate any of this, what is going on with that?
Oh yeah, sure. It's like with Ukraine, they like mobilizing every month approximately what the experts in the military like general saying 30,000 every month. And people don't want to go to the military, don't want to go to the war, so they escaping. And Ukraine put the law like young men, not young men, from age of 25 up to 60, you cannot leave the country. You have to have like a very, very, very big, like, I don't know, permission. Like you are a student or something else, or you are like a working for a government or whatever, Otherwise, you cannot leave the country. But the people still finding the way how to escape and leave the country and running from the country to the Europe and farther to US and Canada. And like whatever they militarize, like put it on a front line, these people get trained like a week or two maximum and put it on the front line. and they cannot fight because they have no desire to fight. They don't want to fight, and they just living. They just living these battles, escaping again from a battlefield. And recently, like 200,000 men left, and still every month 30,000 again militarized, and they catching people on the streets everywhere, like military units and police catching anybody whoever they have seen, and it's like a big no. And they changed their constitution. They saying it's like a war and we have to be militarized, but like mobilized, but it's nonsense because they never announced the war against Russia. It's still like a anti-terrorist operation or whatever they call it. Russia call it like a, from their side, like a operation. Ukraine call it from this side, like a operation. Nobody's saying it's a war. It's basically like a battle between like corporations. They just wanna, I don't know, fight each other for people like a cost. And people understand it, but someone is still fighting, someone is still on the front line, and but they're basically like a mercenaries because they're paid for the fighting. And it's like it's not like a righteous fight. You are not fighting for a freedom. You are mercenary. You are fighting for a war, and you get paid for this. Yeah. And also, I would like to add to the U.S. situation. It's like they play in the game. Yes, it's not people money, and it's like they're gonna bring like a digital dollar or whatever, trying to people get lose more money, and people's dollar not gonna cost anything, because look like a Wall Street gonna fight between the California, like a Silicon Valley, because they need a silver. California technologies need a silver, and Wall Street holding it and making prices higher and higher. It's fight between them, like bankers and technologists, or it's people never win. People gonna lose, and people have only one choice: Divine-gpms.world. That's all. Thank you.
Wow, this is terrible to keep the people inside of the country. They cannot leave and they have to participate inside of a war, imaginary war.
Yeah, and it's going like the last 2 years. They don't let anybody to leave, and
Yeah.
they already discussing because Europe pressures the Ukrainian parliament to lower the age to 18. So right now 25, 60, but they want to lower to 18.
Yeah, so this started also in Romania, and they said all Romanian men have to come back in Romania if they are in another country. And I saw this will never happen. On my family, that it is in the United States, they will never return. I will fight with this situation, and I will say the truth to everyone. No, this will never happen. Zero chance to involve my personal child or somebody from my family inside of a war.
And also governments of Europe also preparing their population to the war with Russia, because they're saying we need bigger army, we need to spend more money to the army, we need to like put more tax
Exactly.
on the people, because we need more extra resources for a war. And it's keep on going, and people still like, I don't know, gonna play their game, or they gonna choose Divine-gpms.world. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the High General right now in Canada started to speak the same, that Canada, it is prepared for the war. And my message was very clear, let them to fight, because we unite via GPMS. We do not need this kind of the war. So this already started also in Canada right now. This is the general that it's speaking about, Canada top general. We are ready for war, and this is the flag, LGBT flag that they promote, and these are the people part of supporting this kind of the flag inside of the army in Canada. So no, I'm not part of this kind of scenario. This is their reality, not ours. So we unite and we move forward in the new world. We have nothing to do with any war. They fight among them, so do not involve the population. Yes, Jonathan.
Hi again. So just in regards to Canada jumping into a war, I'm very certain that that's all theater. Canada's military is all but decimated. I think if you take any personnel that carries a gun, and I'm including Brings, and any laws, 120 laws deep. The reserve or army to like 4,000 or 6,000 people. We have no armored vehicles. We have no aircraft. Our weapons are, I think, from World War II. So we're not. I'm very sure that that's very much posturing. The other thing of it is, if you look at I say this with a smile, but if you look at our generation, they're very soft. They're not wartime people. So I very much doubt that they're going to be able to mobilize anything. I'm almost certain that this is all theater because we decimated our army to the degree that when we do wartime drills with the United States, we don't even have blanks. So the soldiers are making bang bang sounds because they don't even have blanks in which to train with. So we may have special forces and that, but you can't win a war with that. I do not believe if they even try that they're going to mobilize anything or have volunteers, much less will it be any sort of impactful, which is in some way a shame, in some way good. But we are nowhere near having the ability to even defend ourselves militarily, let alone jump into a war. So I just wanted to make that clear. And I know this for a very certain fact. I've seen and spoken to a lot of vets and a lot of people in the military. The state of our infrastructure, where we have our military personnel, are in such like they're living with mold infested bunkers. It's really tragic. So I just wanted to throw that in, and like I said, it'll be very comical for the control structure to want to wage war and see that nobody's going to sign up and join the war. So I just wanted to point that out. I think we're already heading in that right direction where we're not about war anymore collectively. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is exactly what I believe. And so let them to fight to the top among them and all other people, the 99% to unite with Divine-gpms.world. So the piece is here. We have the white animal from almost a lot of species right now that appear all the time. So this is the true sign. Then the piece, it's already here. So we do not need to fight. They want for us to fight with the government. They want for us to fight like countries. This is the reason that they are keeping the borders to control all the people. No, we do not fight. We just unite, and we have no borders. And we do not respect any kind of general mind, and we do not care about. So please come and consent and start to participate and share the true message. This is divine-gpms.org, that it is God will implementation of universal laws, do no harm on the planet Earth. If someone wants to speak something, if not, we are already on almost 2 hours. So do not forget, for the next meeting, start to prepare yourself for the benefits of GPMS and start to share them. We remain on weekly meetings, sharing the solution worldwide. And we do not participate in any kind of the war. This is part of the darkness.
Exactly. And the great news, no one goes to war in Divine-gpms.world. So all of the young men and women worldwide, they have the choice. But not only that, it become evident with what Brother Sergei was saying, that so many of the Ukrainian men, if you will, are realizing that it's an actual massacre, that it's ridiculous because there is nothing to fight about. So this is also a huge indicator why they are, let's say, going AWOL or running away from it, because they're seeing through the illusions of these things as well. But not only this, with the good souls that were in military worldwide in the US and Canada, and also in Russia a bit, what they are, when we look at military personnel, they are the fittest, and they need to be combat ready. But what was interesting is the increasing numbers of the death rate within the militaries worldwide of these healthy ones, all ages, let's say 20 to 40 in their prime, are just dying as well. And this is rippling out a huge message through the militaries worldwide. It's not announced on public TV, no, but this is occurring. And having said that, it is calling the wheat from the chaff as well in militaries worldwide, as they see, because if you look at it, these militaries are on the front lines of the truth with the domestic seriousness of the situation. Especially, I love using the US because what you're seeing is the military splitting the ones that are awakened and knowing the truth as well. And this is a very significant thing that is occurring because the darknesses, any of their fear narratives, is they're losing their force for it. So it's very good that humanity is waking up. And again, all police, all military that are human souls worldwide, join with Divine-gpms.world right now. It is your life saver. And that truly is the truth. So any in the military and police worldwide, the common sense thing for you to do and for your family is to be a part of GPMS and know that God is real and that the solution is here, that all of us here today are real, and that this is real. And it's common sense what GPMS is when you ratify a majority agreement worldwide. It is absolute law. This is the simple logic of it. So it cannot be diminished, it cannot be contested, it cannot be opposed. None of these things. It can only be accepted. And the quicker we get it accepted by the majority, everyone is home free. No more wars, no more poverty, no more suffering, no more anguish, no more misery. Everyone is happy and free and sharing in all of the abundance of this great world. So, having said that, thank you. I'm done for this week. And I wrote down, yes, next week, GPMS benefits meeting. Woo!
Thank you so much to everyone that participated on the meeting today and also that shared the solution and also the website divine-gpms.world. Thank you so much to everyone and see you soon. Like next year, that your reality is not next year, but we should consider the end of the year as it is considered by the majority yet.
Yes, yes, indeed. We got 3 days and we can go viral in the blink of an eye. And let's see what our
Anytime.
next meeting brings. Perhaps a huge party celebration. That would be so great. And with Sister Lodi, I also wish to just add that now I think we have representation from 174 countries worldwide. And we also, I believe it is 57 representation from representation from 57 different denominations of indigenous peoples and sovereign identities, if you will. So, this is a very important to cite, to reference, and it is growing. And that is good, even though there's just one representative in perhaps, some of these countries or what have you, it doesn't matter. The representation is there, it is seated. So again, this is inevitable and it's a common sense and the right thing for everyone to do to get it done quicker so that we save many lives because that's what this does as well. But I'll stop there. Sister Lodi.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. I would just like to thank the brothers and sisters because I am not alone in doing this. They are the ones that really are on the ground. I am just here sitting in front of the laptop and doing the encoding, but it is really their work that is making the Philippines affect the whole world by sharing GPMS wherever they are, especially the overseas workers. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Thank you. And to everyone who are sharing and seeing what GPMS really is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to everybody in the Philippines that participate on divine-gpms.org and share the message and come with consents. This has a huge impact worldwide. Thank you so much. Then see you soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. All of our brothers and sisters in the Philippines, they're holding this up. And that's quite a heavy job, I know, but they have been designed and are doing that. So having said this, I'll end the Facebook live stream and thank you to all of our viewers there today and who may watch this in the future. With that, love, light, and gratitude. And we could stop the recording, sister.